All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see if for its local search is city search, see if it's got BSS. And yeah, we're back here in the GBC universe where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographers in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. If you want more info on that, check out pinned post, pinned video, home video, whatever. And this channel, this profile all the way over on the left, BSS, focusing on the highest intent people. Is people searching for, boudoir photographer city or, like they want a boudoir photographer, boudoir shoot now. And they're searching this on social and on Google. Our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, is all the way on the right. That's for boudoir right now for boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ad. You have to, on ads, boudoir Facebook ads. So you have to go check out our other profiles for that. But getting back to BSS, boudoir search sameness. That's when boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. Basically, we're not being seen because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So we don't care about those 20% that do because they're going to page 10, clicking every link, getting a price quote from everyone. We care about the 80% that approximately 80% that never go past page 1. And so if we got 0 slots, well, we're invisible. They ain't never buying from us because we're on page 2. If we got 1 slot, we look the same as everyone else, so we're essentially invisible again, even though we are on page 1 of Google. There's nothing drawing them to us instead of everyone else, so they're probably going to click down through every single link, get a price quote from everyone, talk to everyone, blah, blah, blah. And 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google is actually not normal. That means something is seriously broken. A boudoir photography business should always have a minimum of 3. So we talk about our GBC and minimum of 3 here. 3 out of 10 on page 1 of Google for our local, local town, small town, small city, small part of the city. And we gotta shoot to get 3 out of 10, GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 at the city level as well, like Cincinnati or Miami. Because at that point, we can basically guarantee we're not disappearing. We may not be growing, but we can essentially guarantee we're not disappearing, not declining. And the 2 deeper root causes of actually having 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google are MS, market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the big killer, the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, that's when more and more boudoir photographers entering the market every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. It seems like whenever anyone gets a new iPhone, they are throwing up their Google My Business profile, say they offer boudoir photo shoots now, or anytime anyone gets a new camera, people are posting them on groups saying, yeah, I do boudoir shoots now. And they're getting ranked. The stuff, their websites, their Facebook profiles, it's all getting ranked. Page 1 of Google kind of shuffling everyone around, pushing long-standing people who were there off page 1. But here comes the real killer, the false belief of page 1 inequality. So from what I've seen, the false belief of page 1 inequality or page 1 equality has been the #1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. It's basically believing that page 1, the false belief of page 1 equality is when we believe, it's normal to have either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. Maybe like, oh yeah, I used to have 1 link on page 1, but a lot more boudoir photographers came in, and yeah, I got kicked off. I'm on page 2 now, but that's fine. That's normal. No, that is not normal. The norm is to have 3 or more links on page 1 of Google. This is the norm for the boudoir photographers that eventually become and want to become and can eventually become the #1 boudoir photographers in their city. So it's accepted as normal, but it means something's fundamentally broken because we're believing, oh yeah, that's simply how it is. No, it's not. I've gotten to 9 out of 10 links on page 1 in 10 days. I went from 0 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 in 10 days. More on that in a little bit. Now, boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, so having 0 or 1 links on page 1 of Google, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Basically, if we disappear off page 1 of Google, or if we're on page 1 with only 1 link, or essentially invisible as well, then we've essentially been disappeared as a boudoir photographer, which means our boudoir photography business will disappear soon enough after that. So we're building our universe. We can see declining boudoir photographer, or disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page 1 equality, the false belief of page 1 equality. So do we have a solution? Yes, we do. BSS is treated with social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology. We've been developing, testing the last 7 months, bringing it to market now. And this is literally the only thing that I've ever seen that is able to successfully fight against market saturation. So imagine we got 1 million boudoir photographers each with a website, ranking for boudoir, in Cincinnati, whatever. And we're in Cincinnati as well. If we can take S-cubed methodology to the max, and we can probably do it if we got enough time, take it to the max, and we rank for, the first 300 search results on Google. That's the first 30 pages, 10 pages, 10 organic slots per page, which only comes as a result of us ranking for the first 30 pages across Facebook search, Instagram search, YouTube search, and TikTok search. And basically, anyone, anywhere in Cincinnati searches for, boudoir photographer Cincinnati, we're essentially the only one they can find. And even if there's a million boudoir photographers, if we got all the first page links, our business will probably be growing every day, every week, every month, every year, and all those other ones will eventually disappear. Well, I mean, we've already disappeared them with all of our content, but then eventually go out of business. And so, again, this is the only thing I've ever seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation. That can happen in under a month. Obviously, brand building would be the other thing, but that takes years. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, so instead of having 0 or 1 slots on page 1, we have more than that. We now have page 1 visibility, so we look different. We prefer to get to the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 links on page 1, because basically everyone else will have 1. And we'll actually really look different because they'll see our name. Scrolling down, they'll see our name literally 3 times. And probably by the 3rd time, they'll click on us, be like, all right, these guys seem different. Google keeps recommending them. There must be some reason why. Now, the other bonus is every new link we get on page 1 is we're kicking a competing boudoir photographer off page 1, effectively making them invisible to the approximately 80% of Google searchers who never go past page 1. Literally, they're page 1 or bust. These are the people that we're focusing on, getting in front of. So we got page 1 visibility, and page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, so people are actually seeing us because we show up way more on page 1 of Google. Like, we're actually entering their brain, entering their eyeballs, entering their brain. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So we got disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Cool, we will attack that, solve that with our S-cubed methodology. Achieve page 1 visibility and become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So now my results, actually use an S-cubed methodology on myself. This is for the term BLCS boudoir. And okay, we got an AI overview. We got the Google 3 map pack. Now we'll hit the organic results. So you got organic slot 1, me. And we got slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6, Slot 7, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. Slot 8, and we got slot 10 way down there at the bottom. Slot 9 is someone else. But in 10 days, I was able to completely take this over. So if people are searching this, literally 10 days, I was at 0 out of 10. I got to 9 out of 10 for this term BLCS Boudoir. And so if people are searching BLCS Boudoir, who are they coming to? They literally have, what they got? They got, at organic search, they got two options, me or the person in number 9, way down at the bottom. So they're probably going to be coming to me. And so now into the main event here, and check this Boudoir photography business. I'm going to see, check its local search, check its city search, see if that BSS, yes or no. So let's see. Going to Williamstown and Defiance, Ohio. All right, Williamstown. Yeah, nice. All right, get rid of these. All right, let's see what we got. See what we got. Okay, I'm not seeing us here yet. All right, it looks like we're at 0 out of 10 slots. Page 1 Google for local search. All right, now we're gonna check city search. Let's see, go down to organic. All right, here we go. All right, so city search, we got 1. We got 2. We got 3. We got 4. We got 5. We got 6. All right, I wonder if I switch these searches up. I wonder if Defiance is the local and the other one's the city search. But all right, so all right, we got 6 out of 10 for this one. So that's insanely good. So let's go. So local search, Williamstown, Ohio. That one must be the city search then. We do have BSS. We got 0 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. We're not hitting the GBC recommend minimum 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. But for the local search, Defiance, Ohio, we are hitting. We do not have BSS. We got 6 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. We're definitely meeting the GBC universe recommended minimum 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search. So insanely good. All right, so if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search, your local searches, city searches with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you got 0-1 slots for any of them, at least one of them, or you're not reaching the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for at least one of them, and you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. So you know we can actually take as many slots on page 1 Google search as we want. Then, well, Andrew Saineski methodology is the only solution to give you those slots, and it's actually something you've been waiting for. And you're loving the initial benefits, more slots, page 1 Google search, kick in competing boudoir photographers off page 1 Google search, relegate them to page 2 or page 3 or deeper, and never actually having to kind of deal with them as competitors anymore, making them disappear to approximately 80% of Google searches, so approximately 80% of the market. And you understand the market saturation, yeah, more peeps buy new gear eventually become boudoir photographers, yeah, they kind of trickle in over time. But you're looking ahead and you're seeing, okay, AI is taking peeps jobs right now, and AI is definitely going to get better and better, so it's going to take more and more peeps jobs over time. And you understand, last time that happened, lots of peeps lost their job. COVID, massive wave of boudoir photographers came into the marketplace. They're like, uh-oh, massive market saturation is coming, and you're realizing you actually need to fortify your position on page 1, which means have so many links that Google wants to rank on page 1 that there's not enough space to rank them all. So you're actually link stuffing page 2, 3, 4 onward, and basically guaranteeing no current boudoir photographer can get onto page 1, and basically no future boudoir photographer that comes after AI takes their job can ever get onto page 1. And you're saying, well, how to get that many links? So you're saying, oh, SQ methodology, that's the only solution. I can give you that fortification. And you're also understanding that when we successfully execute S-cube methodology every single day, we're actually creating we're actually creating like these invisible thematic keyword columns that are plugging into our brand, like kind of 360 degrees around our brand. And these are building up back-end keyword AI mindshare for the AI systems, AI searchers out there. And so every day we do this, successfully execute S-cube methodology, we're actually increasing the probability that we show up here in AI overview. The most premium placement, we cannot purchase this. And so that's a future benefit of S-cube methodology. Another future benefit of S-cube methodology is we are actually higher probability that we show up in AI search. So ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Google, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. And this is huge. Increasing its probability every single day is huge because more and more people use an AI search every single day. Last time I did AI search for Boudoir photographer in the city, I actually looked and it recommended me 3. So I went to look manually on Google and Facebook, hey, how many boudoir photographers are actually in the city? Dude, there's like 60. So if AI is only recommended 3, we gotta get there. We gotta have so much back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum that AI has to give recommend those positions to us. And you're also like the fact that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So you're like, and yeah, you can get all these benefits, but also you can prevent your competitors from getting all these benefits, allowing you to build up a massive like AI mindshare gap, back-end AI keyword mindshare gap for the increased probability of recommended through AI overview and recommended through AI search. And you can actually deny your competitors getting that. So basically you're able to build up a massive gap between you and your competitors and basically make it so big that current competing boudoir photographers can never achieve it or reach it, and future boudoir photographers can never that come in after AI takes their jobs can never catch you. So you decide you're a first mover on this, you can't miss out, and you actually want you're thinking conversely, if some other peeps, if one of your competitors were to get on the sign up with me first, you would actually lose out on all the benefits. Your competitor would begin all these links page 1. Have so many links page 1 that actually be overflown to the future page 2, 3, 4. You would be relegated to page 2 or deeper, and we would obviously have the goal of making you have no chance to ever get to page 1. And then we'd be building a massive keyword, back-end AI keyword, kind of momentum, mindshare to get recommended AI overview, Google search, and with all the AI search apps. And for you to compete, you'd actually have to go rederive S-cubed methodology on your own, and you'd never have any idea if you've derived it. Well, you'd have to drive it for first time for yourself. You'd never know if you successfully 100% derived it correctly. And then you'd have to equal our execution every single day. And if you did that, you'd simply be maintaining the gap that we've already massively built ahead of you. And then once that happens, you would actually have to 2 to 3x our execution every single day to start closing that gap and pulling that back-end AI mindshare away from me and your competitor's brand back towards you. But since you're not even 100% confident you've derived it correctly in the first place, it's hard to put in that much effort, something you're not confident in. And when you actually think about it, you're like, dude, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this stuff? So you decide, screw that. You're actually going to be the first mover in your city, get all these benefits. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but when we do open our DMs for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify.